and welcome to episode 15 of Speak Podcast. Woo, woo, woo. I'm here with the one and only Luca.
Sup?
How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, just same old, tired. I'm always tired.
That's because you stay up playing Gears, because that's all you ever play is Gears. I'm just saying.
My God. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Not an episode goes by where we don't have this little thing that you do. Just mentioning the fact. But I'm glad you're feeling fine. We do want to send our thoughts to everyone that is dealing with the hurricane right now. I wanted to just hope that everyone is fine, and I hope that everyone's safe. And I know that things might get damaged, but things are things. What's important is your life.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends who live in Florida and other places around the world. So for everyone who's been affected, not just Florida, Cuba, the Bahamas,
The islands,
Puerto Rico, all those places, our hearts are with you guys. And at least for me, I'm praying for you guys, and I hope everything ends up being okay.
Yeah, for sure. I know it's not our usual thing, but we just wanted to throw that out there. It's important. All right, well, I guess you guys know us, right? So we don't have to introduce ourselves to you. Or do we?
Ma'am, let's just introduce ourselves in case some new people are listening. Miss.
Well, I'm Blue, if you didn't know, and I'm a streamer and a podcaster now, and a gamer. So we usually introduce everyone. Usually we have a guest, and we usually introduce everyone in the beginning of the show, and we tell you a little bit about us. And I'm a streamer on Twitch, if you were interested. Links will be down below. What about you, Luca?
I'm just a regular, just a normal person on Twitter. I like to argue with people occasionally. I think it's a lot of fun, talking to people who have different opinions than me. Most of the time. Sometimes it's annoying. A lot of the times it's annoying, actually. Matter of fact, I actually don't like arguing with people. Stop arguing with me. Just accept whatever I have to say.
Agree and just move on.
Just agree and move on. But to everyone who's listening later, what up? I can already point out the fact that MNC, the chat was also really low there. There's at least 200 less people watching, and I don't know if that's because of what was going on with the hurricane or what, but maybe that has something to do with it as well. So maybe all that really matters to us is that when you guys do listen, you enjoy the show, and we have a lot of interesting things to say. First of all, TiVo.
Oh boy.
It was good. I mean, I'm sorry if you didn't like it, but I liked it, and all that matters to me is my opinion.
Yeah, I went to see it this weekend at the movie theater. I really enjoyed it. I don't usually like horror movies. I usually turn away from them and kind of cover my eyes and just say, fuck it, I don't care about the storyline anymore, because I'm a little bit of a punk when it comes to movies like that.
Well, it was kind of less like a horror movie and more like a thriller, because I wasn't, after a while, I wasn't scared at all.
That's what I noticed.
If you don't get your clown ass out of here, that
but
shit was goofy,
I think it was the point of that. There was a point to that from the director. I think it was done on purpose, which is actually amazing. Because as you notice, we got less afraid of the clown as the characters did in the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want to give spoilers, so we're just going to leave it at, that if you don't know about it, basically it's a clown. I mean, you have to know at least that if you saw the trailer.
I mean, it's not a clown, technically speaking, but
it looks like a clown.
It takes the form of a clown.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm excited for the next part that they are going to release. That's for sure. Which is so unlike me. But I just like that the characters had depth,
Yeah. I mean, I'm really excited to see it again, to be perfectly honest. I was going to be like, well, there's a showing at 11. I was like, should I go and see this movie? But then I was thinking about what if I was late and I didn't want to be murdered by you. So
gosh.
I avoided it.
Well, yeah. I'm glad that you think of that stuff,
I always consider you before I do anything.
I mean, you don't want to die.
I don't want to die. Like, listen, I was a huge fraud, and I got Destiny 2.
What?
That shit's actually pretty good. It's pretty lit, I gotta admit.
You got OMG. Wait,
I
how?
okay, so I red boxed it because my friend Scrotum got it on Redbox, and he was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yeah, it's okay." And I was like, "All right." So I was like, "Okay, let me Redbox it and see what I have to say," because honestly, all of my friends were playing it, and I was like, "Well, I'm not going to drop $60 or something I'm not sure if I'll like or not." I Redboxed it, immediately was like, "This is awesome. This is great. I love it." And then I just like, I spent the night considering it, and I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna get the game. I'm gonna get the game because it's like, why not? Like, why not? You know?"
Mm-hmm.
And I've accepted the fact that I am a fraud. I've accepted it, and I will, I will take that L. I will deal with it. I will ride it out. But it's great. I've been enjoying it a lot. I've actually been playing it since like 8 a.m. today, and I just got off it like 15
Oh
minutes
my
ago.
God, this son of a bee.
I know, right? Like it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, dude. Yeah, I'm kind of like, man, it's really good though.
Damn. Well, that makes me want to play,
Yo, you should
but
get it.
I'm trying to get other
Listen,
games.
listen. No, 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 no. What other games all you play is Gears? Destiny 2 is I cannot believe I'm this person. Destiny 2 is the perfect game to stream and play with people. And you have plenty of people who want to play with you. Like it's going to be awesome. I mean, I'm not saying you have to, but you definitely should consider it because it's a lot of fun.
I'll
And
think about
I
it.
honestly, I am shocked that I am saying this. Like, if you had told me a week ago that like I'd be playing Destiny 2 and like loving it, I would have like been like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like,
I know for sure that my red box is definitely not gonna have it.
well, I live in the suburbs, so uh, someone gave me Sonic, sir. So I didn't buy it myself. And I played Sonic for 5 minutes and I was like, I don't like this. Just like I thought I wouldn't like it. So Destiny 2 is like the only exception to my fraudiness
Oh
because
my God. I have no words right now for what's happening here. So, yeah. I'm just a little like, what?
yeah, but I was talking to Foxy and I was like, Fox, how mad do you think Blue would be if I skipped this show to play Destiny 2?
Oh, hell fucking no. You are not doing that.
And then she was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure she'd kill you, and then I would be angry at you." And I was like, "What? Why?" And she was like, "Because she would kill you." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. You're right, though." But the game is pretty awesome. I gotta admit, it's really good, dude. It's bad. You should get it.
We'll see. Anyhow, let's move on to our next segment. Next segment is questions, where you can get to know us a little better and things like that because we're awesome. Anyhow, this week we have interesting questions for you to listen to because this show is going to be, I mean, of course it's different because there's just the two of us, but it's going to be kind of eye-opening, I think. So, of course,
That's kind of putting a lot of pressure on
I
us. What if the
mean,
show
we're
isn't
going to be
like that,
talking about
ma'am?
some interesting things. But let's just start with the icebreakers. The first question is, what was your favorite subject in school? Luca.
English.
Oh my God, me too.
Oh, right. What? Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Wait,
Yeah.
why did you like English?
I love reading and I love writing, and it was a lot of fun. It was just the subject I excelled in. Like, I never had any issues with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember for my like what was that fucking advanced placement literature class, I like would fall asleep during class. Like, I fell asleep so many times, but I'd still end up getting A's on the test and stuff like that because like I was just really into it, you know. On the other hand, I'm really bad at math. Like it's like remedial math. I can't even pass that. So, we're good at some things and worse at others. Just saying. Just saying. What about you? Why'd you like English?
I liked English because I mean, it's the same. I feel like I excelled there, but I also feel like I was able to release some energy with writing. A lot of the times that I did take English, it was a lot of like creative writing. I guess the teachers believed in that. And I was always, when I was younger, I was always the one to have a journal. And so I just felt like writing helped me feel better about things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like a little bit of an angry child. And so when I
You're still
just,
a bit angry now. I'm
I
just.
mean, a little, but I was worse when I was younger. And so when I would write, I feel like I was just releasing not physical energy because I did that with sports, right? But just like this energy that was inside me. Like I felt like it was an outlet, you know? Just like I feel like about this show. I think it's important to have an outlet. I think it's important to kind of like just to sort of help yourself unwind and to help yourself just feel better, you know? Even if you're the happiest person, there are things that are going to frustrate you.
That's true. That's very
So
true.
I feel like writing or English when I was younger helped a lot with that. That was my favorite subject. I absolutely hated math.
Oh, nice.
Even though
That's
I
why
was
you
really
learned.
good at it, I hated it
You're good.
so
Okay, never
much.
mind.
No, yeah, I was good at math. I they put me in a calculus class because I was like apparently, good enough to be in it. And I was just like, I don't want to be in this class. I literally fought to be removed from the class, to be put in like the regular math class. And I don't know why I did that because the teacher that was there was so annoying. Like she was the worst. And I was like, well, I should have stayed in calculus.
Oh yeah.
But
I actually did that in high school. When I started high school, I had moved to a new school. So they were gonna put me in like honor English, and I was like, "Don't put me in this. Don't put me in this because I don't want to be considered a loser at this new school." Because
no.
I know like being smart is considered lame. Like that's the mindset I had when I was younger. I mean, they still put me in it, but still.
Oh my gosh. I think that's kind of cute. You were like worried about it.
Yeah.
But that's cool that you were able to like get into that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't regret it. Freshman English was actually pretty awesome, to be perfectly honest. Freshman and sophomore. Junior year was like just stressful because we were dealing with all the junior year is like the hardest year in high school. Facts, with the ACTs and like all the other stuff, and you're
Mm.
worried about college and stuff. And then senior year was a breeze. So
Yeah, senior year was so easy. I was just chilling.
yeah.
Anyhow, our next question is, what is something you learned last week?
Hmm.
What I learned last week was, for some reason, people were talking about Asperger's syndrome. I think it was
Hmm.
during anime night. Yeah,
It was.
we were talking about Elle having
Yeah.
Asperger's, right?
Hmm.
And so I was just interested if people who have Asperger's um, got angry really quickly and frustrated really quickly. And so I don't know, I looked it up and then I learned that yes, they do. And it's actually something is that happens often. So I was just, curious about it. I think it's amazing that we have the internet to like look anything up now. It's so great
Yeah.
because
I agree.
you can learn so much, although fucking people don't take advantage of that shit. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's actually very true. A lot of things that people could just look up, they just ask you it instead, like you are an encyclopedia. Like there's a thing called Google, guys.
Yep.
Use it,
It's funny because
perhaps.
there's this website that says, "Let me Google that for you," and you can send them the link, and it actually shows the mouse going to the search bar, clicking, putting the term that you were asking, and then like hitting enter for you, and then it shows you the results.
Oh yeah, really?
That shit's hilarious.
That's
Yes,
like another level of laziness.
you should just use that because like people ask me questions all the time, and they're like, "Hey, oh, what's this? What's that?" And I'm like, let me Google that for you. And I send them that link and they're like, wow, you just have to. Even in your response, you just have to be. Yeah. And I'm like, yep. Your lazy ass decided to ask me instead of punching it into the search bar. I mean, I don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I totally feel you on that one.
What's something you learned last week?
Well, I learned more about the I know we keep talking about this, about Pennywise, the creature, what he actually is, and more about the story in general.
Oh, you looked
And
it up?
Yeah, I looked it up because I was like, oh, this is actually really interesting.
Nice.
I learned how long the book was. It's like more than 1,000 pages. I'm still gonna pick it up. Like I just went and learned more about that
I mean, I heard it was an
story in
amazing
general.
book,
Yeah,
but
I'm like
I
really
haven't read it.
excited.
I
I
think the
really
book
want to
might
read
be
it.
more scary than the movie.
Yeah, I mean, this movie wasn't scary. This shit was goofy. You know, it's,
First of all, I was a little bit scared. I'm not gonna lie.
bruh, I was scared in the first like 25 minutes, and then after
Yeah,
that, I spent the rest of the time cackling.
yeah.
First of
After
all,
that, I
there's a
didn't.
reason why Pennywise goes after children. Because if I saw that goof ass nigga, oh my bad, if I saw that goof ass clown coming after me, I'd be like, man, if you don't like, he's goofy. Like he's goofy. Come on.
He is goofy.
Like he started doing like this crip walk or whatever when he was like dancing. I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
bruh. I was like, bruh, what is
Yeah,
this?
by that point, I wasn't afraid of him anymore. But I really do think that it was done on purpose. I really do.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
it'll
the
be interesting to see
original,
the special features of that movie.
yeah, the original, the TV series was considered to be very campy, you
Mm.
know? And when I left the theater, like, man, that was super campy. Like he's goofy. He's super goofy. Like yeah, in the beginning it's scary, but by the end of it, you're like, okay, okay, Pennywise, you're done. Are you done, sir? Sir, are you finished? Like he goes after kids because kids are easily scared. But if I legit, if I saw Pennywise, some of the stuff he was doing, I would have been like, bye.
His
Okay.
bottom lip bothered me. Is that weird to say? Like his bottom lip, like it just like drooped so much sometimes. Like in the beginning of the movie when he
I
was
mean,
talking to Georgie, he was just like, and then like drool was like, I know he's supposed to
oh,
be like
so yeah,
hungry,
that was the point. Like he was supposed to show how animalistic
but
he
like
was and
why
how
his
he was
bottom
like
lip was so like low and just like whoa, whoa.
he was like marinating on the thought of eating Georgie. And another thing
Yeah,
I want to point out was this movie was very very violent against children.
yeah,
And you
I've
normally
never
don't
seen
see
that
that,
before.
right? So it like sets up what kind of movie it's going to be in the first 15 minutes. And as soon as you see what happens to Georgie, you're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
I was
None
like,
of
oh
these kids."
shit, what the fuck? I did not
And
expect
like,
that. I thought they were
yeah.
gonna show like, you know how they just like grab the person and then you would just assume what happened to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't hold anything back with this movie. I think everyone
They
should
really
just go
don't.
watch it.
It's really good. Go see it, guys. Like it's, you know what? I'm gonna go see it again today. Maybe I'm considering whether or not I'm actually gonna go see it by myself or not. I'm like, yeah, it's not scary, but still, you know what I mean? So,
When you watch it the second time, you'll notice things you didn't notice before.
yeah, that's usually how it goes. That's what I like to do.
Maybe there's like some hidden, Easter eggs or something in there.
Yeah.
All right, our next question is, have you ever been in true love? That's a big question.
Nah.
That's sad. I have,
Yeah.
or at least I think I have. It's tricky,
Wait, what do you
right?
mean you think you
Because,
have?
well, love is subjective,
Hmm.
you know?
Okay.
Like, I feel like I have been in true love, right? But tell me a little bit about why you feel like you haven't. Like, what do you expect from true, like, what feelings do you expect? How do you know that you're in true love?
Dude, I don't know, which is why I don't know if I've ever been in true love. I don't think I have been because it's like I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't take my crushes seriously anymore. Like so I've become very infatuated with a person and then after a bit of time I'm like, yeah, whatever, you know?
Hmm.
I think true love is when you love someone and whatever they do, it's like you still love them even if they do something like stupid or reckless or something like that, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's like I just have never been in love like that with anyone. And it's kind of like I don't think anyone's ever been in love with me, you know? So,
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell with these things.
I do feel like,
Especially because it's like what is real love?
right. I do feel like with everyone it's different, right? Because some people find, I mean, there's this whole like lust aspect of it where because you are attracted to someone or you really want them, or like you said, infatuation and things like that, like those things are not love, you know?
Yeah.
And so my definition of true love might not necessarily be someone else's definition of true love, which is why I think it's hard to say, not that it's hard to say that you have been, because if you feel like you have been, then you know, you feel like you do. But it's interesting how that works, how everyone has a different feeling or a different expectation of what it should be. I do agree with that about how you would forgive someone for something, because if you love them, you'll forgive them for something, even if it's something like bad or, you know, stupid that they've done. But I also feel like with me, I feel like if you truly love someone, you're willing to be there for them no matter what. And trust me, there are people that I would not, like, I usually do not stick around for people if they decide to fuck up. And so I feel like when you truly love someone, you want to be there no matter what. And I think it's really sweet. I think it's you know, something like I think it's like, I don't know, something from, I guess, fairy tales. I know that sounds super corny, but don't get me wrong, love is fucking complicated, people. Like you can't expect it to be like all, you know, love, like hearts and rainbows and just all this shit that you see on TV and movies and things like that. Like, it's not always like that. And it takes work. And if you're not willing to put in the work, then that says that you're not in love. You know what I mean? Because if you're willing to put your all out there for someone that you care about, you have to love them. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's tricky. But what do you feel in your past relationships then? Like, I know you said infatuation, but you were talking about your crushes, right?
Yeah. In my past relationships, first of all, with my ex, well, one of my exes, my ex before my most recent ex, I didn't love them, like, at all. I didn't feel anything towards them. That's actually why I started going to therapy, because I couldn't feel anything towards them, and I wanted to like I wanted to feel something, and the reason I couldn't feel something was because of my past abusive relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, well, all right, well, I'll go to therapy, and maybe I can feel something towards them. That was, yeah, yeah. In the end, it ended up working out well for me, I suppose, but like I didn't love them anymore after that. So I just didn't feel anything towards them. And then with my ex, I was just infatuated with them because I always seem to be attracted to people who are bad for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people who are not gonna show me any true aren't gonna show me anything I deserve. You know what I mean? Like anything good. They're just secretive and kind of rude and only want me for one thing, aka the booty. And it's like
the booty.
And it's just kind of like I'm just infatuated with them. I don't think I've ever really truly been in love with anyone.
Right. That makes me a little sad. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe because the feeling of love it's awesome. It's good to know that someone cares about you, you know? And I mean, of course, there's a difference between being in love and loving someone, right? Because if you're friends with someone, it's possible for you to love them, but it's also possible for you to fall in love with someone.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother issue with friends and, you know, all that all on its own. But like it's interesting how, I mean, it's good to know that your friend loves you. I feel like it's a good thing. And if I love my friend, because, you know, if someone's my friend, that's a big step for me. Like, I feel like if I call you my friend, then it's a big deal. But if you're an associate, then I don't give a fuck about you. I mean, I care a little bit. Like, I'll be like, hey, how are you? You know, being like all nice and things like that. But if I'm your friend, then I'm going to go above and beyond for you.
Yeah.
Because I
I feel
love
the same
you.
way. I love my friends very much. Like very much. You know, I will do certain things for them that I wouldn't do for other people. Like I would sacrifice for them. I'd give them like especially if you're a close friend of mine, like there's no distance that's too long and like I like there's certain people who I take for instance one of my friends, it was her birthday and
Mm-hmm.
the Uber to her party would have been like $100, right? From where I was.
Oof.
And I was like, oh man, because if I don't go, she's going to be really upset at me because I went to someone else's birthday party like that same night when I could
Mm-hmm.
have just gone to hers first. So I ended up spending like $50 to get to her place in the city, which took like an hour to get there. And I was just like, yeah, I love this girl. You know, like I
Mm-hmm.
spent money on her. I traveled a distance for her. Like I love
Yeah.
her. And then there's my other friend who I spent a significant amount of money on going to see them and hang out with them as well. Like there are certain people who I like love so much and like I just want to take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm very nurturing to the people I consider my friends. I just want to take care of them and make sure that they're okay and all that stuff, right?
Same. Mm-hmm.
But like with people I don't care about, I'm like, eh. Like
Exactly.
if you're not a close friend of mine, I legit like I will contemplate the pros and the cons of going to see you or certain like this one girl, she went to hang out and get tacos or whatever in the city at night and it would have taken like an hour and a half for me to get there by train and like it was at night,
Jeez.
so it would have been late anyway. And then it was
Mm-hmm.
tacos, and it was with people I didn't care about hanging out with. So I was like, nah, it's a no for me, dog. But with my friends, I traveled like 2 hours to go see them in the city to get like chicken wings. So it really depends on like the person.
Yeah.
If you are dear to my heart, I'm willing to do whatever and sacrifice whatever to make sure that you're happy because I love you. And I feel like I only love people who are my friends that are like worthy of it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
who have shown me that they I have very high standards in general
Mm-hmm.
in the sense that I do not like people very much. Like generally speaking, I am a very pessimistic, negative person and I don't like people.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can show me that you're worth something, then it's like you're very like it means something to me. And you know, yeah, it's like I love my friends. Like, you know, I would do a lot of stuff for Blue because I love her. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I love you
So,
back.
oh my God. Yes.
But then, like, so with speaking about that, where is that line, where how do you know between that and like being in love with someone? I mean, I know it feels different, but like, it's hard to explain, I feel like. Because I feel like you can say that same thing about someone you're in love with, right? So
Yeah.
what's the difference? Is it the attraction that makes it different, right? If you become suddenly attracted to one of your friends, is there a danger to fall in love with them?
Uh, maybe. Like
I,
I think so.
I think so too. I feel like if there's an attraction there and you care about them deeply, there's something might happen.
Hmm. I mean, perhaps. But I think that if that's the case, there's probably always been something in your head that's been like, oh, if, you know, maybe in this circumstance, or maybe in this situation, or maybe if I wasn't with this person, or maybe if they weren't with this person,
Right.
maybe, just maybe, you know, we could work together and be together and all that stuff. But you just push those thoughts away because you guys are just friends. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I think that if you gain an attraction to your friend, uh, you know,
That's
there
I mean
has to
that's how it
be
happened
something that
with
stems from it,
me.
you know?
I was friends with someone and then I fell in love with them, but I don't think we were friends in the sense of like friends I don't know. It's different. Like it's almost as though we went into it not knowing that something would happen, but then something in terms of when I mean by something happening, people, I mean like developing feelings for each other. Let's make that clear. But it's just weird. I guess when you go into it and you're just like open to it and it can happen, then that's fine. But if you go in knowing like, okay, friendship only, right? Then
Yeah.
it's different. Hmm. It's really interesting to talk about this. I mean, true love is tricky. Love in general is tricky.
Yeah, I
But
agreed.
yeah. What do you think? Do you think that you could ever love someone?
Yeah, of course. I have so much love inside of me. It's just I just haven't fell in love with anyone. That's all.
Okay, one day, and then you'll tell me all about it, and then I'll be like, oh my
Oh,
god.
are you gonna ask to see a picture of them like you did last time?
Hell fucking yeah.
Oh, okay.
You
Okay.
know, yes. Listen, people, I'm curious as fuck. All right. I care about you and I care about
Nosy.
the situation. I mean, Luca says that I'm nosy, but I mean, nosy people don't
But
ever
like
not give a fuck. Like, nosy people,
she is
oh my God.
but
Nosy
she is
people will
nosy.
look into any situation just to find out, like, what the fuck. Me, I only care about particular things. So, yes, if Luca decides that she loves someone, I'm going to be like, so what they look like, though?
Yeah.
Just saying. Anyhow, let's move on to our first topic. Our first topic is, how does one realize they have a problem and need to work on themselves? So I feel like this is really important, guys, because oftentimes people are in denial about the issues that they have, and it's super, super crucial that people realize, I will say this again, realize that there's something up with you, man. Like, I understand that you can be blind to your issues because maybe not enough people are telling you, like maybe not enough people care about you to sit you down and be like, look, bitch, you have problems, right? And that's kind of sad if you don't have that in your life, because I feel like it's important. But I feel as though you have to work on yourself in order for you to be a better person.
Agreed. 100%.
Yeah. And so with me in particular, I realize about myself that I do I do have a problem where I get frustrated very easily. I get angry too quickly, right? That's something that I've been trying to work on, and it's hard, but it's learned behavior from my mom who raised me, right? She's the same way, and I've seen what that has done for her, and I don't want that same thing. So I've been trying to change the way I react to things so that I don't push people away, right? Because that's exactly what happened with my mom. And so because I've realized this, I have to battle my initial reaction, which is to fucking yell and curse somebody out, right? And try and like take a deep breath and think about what I'm gonna say and then say it. And I don't know if you guys know this, but that shit's fucking hard. Like, all that happens really quickly in your mind, right? To explain it takes longer, but it's so much easier just to yell at someone and say, what the fuck is wrong with you? But of course, it's not always the best. The easier way is not always the best way.
Yeah, it's very true.
Another issue I had where I kind of had to realize it on my own was that I do deal with anxiety. Now, I knew that I had an issue with anxiety since I was younger, same as my anger issue, except that it never hindered me in any way, and it never it actually motivated me to get shit done. So when I was in high school, I would always say, like, the teachers would always tell me, oh wow, you're different than the other students. You actually, put your mind to something and do it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, because I'm awesome. But really it's because I was anxious about shit. And so what I would do is I would oftentimes like push myself to do things and get things done at a particular time, like earlier than what I needed to, like earlier than the due date. I'm sorry, I know YouTube is acting up right now. All right. Earlier than the due date in order to sort of get it done, ahead of time, but not because I was being a good student, only because I was anxious about the fact that I wouldn't get it done on time, right? And of
Yeah.
course, this was only for some subjects. Other subjects I didn't really give a fuck about. And I was like, hand that shit in late. Like, here you go, teacher. But guys, don't do that if you're in school. It's very bad. But in general, I was very much like on it. And so with everything that was happening in my life, not kind of recently, but also like not that recently, because it was like a few years ago. But I had the pressures of like college and the pressures of like family and all that stuff, to the point where it kind of pushed me to an edge. And I realized that I was at that edge, and I was like saying to myself, you need to fucking figure this shit out. And if you can't figure this shit out by yourself, you need to go get some help, right?
Yeah.
And usually I'm very headstrong. I just take care of shit by myself. But at this point, I was kind of at a place where I couldn't figure out how to snap myself out of it. And I felt as though I was about to sort of I don't know if I would say like a breakdown, but more just like I was just about to give up everything and sort of just say fuck it all, because I was so overwhelmed with everything. But a lot of it was me putting pressure on myself because of my anxiety. And so it was like this mind game that I was playing with myself. And so I decided, you know what, this is not working. I can't get myself out of it this time. And so I decided to go see a therapist. And while truthfully speaking, the therapist didn't exactly help me speaking to someone who was outside of my circle and outside of my life helped me, if that makes sense. The therapist and what the therapist was saying didn't help. Me laying it out there for someone who had no like judgment and no anything to do with that kind of laid it out, because I was able to put myself in her position and see it from a different point of view and just like figure out for myself, all right, this is what I need to do, you know? And that sounds weird, but if I didn't go to those therapy sessions, then I wouldn't have done that, I think. And then I would have, I would have spiraled out of control. And so, yeah, I think that it's important to be aware of what you're going through and when you need to seek help.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree. I for me, I had a couple of mental breakdowns. And then after my mental breakdowns, I was like, "Oh, I should probably get my shit together, like figure out how to cope with my depression and all that stuff."
What
So,
do you think, like, why do you think it took a few breakdowns before you
um,
decided, like, hey, you know?
well, it was only maybe, let me see. I think it was only, let's see here. It was maybe three. I had three. And I
Okay.
remember writing down about like when they happened and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And after my breakdowns, I would just be like, embarrassed, and I wouldn't want to think about it or talk about it, because it is embarrassing. Like the stuff you do when you're in the midst of like a mental crisis. Like people act like depression and all that stuff isn't real, but it's kind of like some of the things I was doing to myself, I wasn't exactly in the right state of mind. Like it was a complete break. And then I was like, after I was like, okay. You know. And it kept like after the third time it happened, I was like, I really think I need to like figure out how to cope better. Just because I was like by myself, I was alone because I had pushed everyone away. And it was either that or um me killing myself. So I figured, well, let me try and figure something out. And
Mm-hmm.
since then, it's been like a constant struggle to like consider everything I'm doing and why I'm doing the things that I'm doing and why I'm saying the things that I'm saying. Like, there's been a couple times where me and Blue have gotten into arguments, and I've had to like stop myself and be like, why am I so upset at her?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like something else entirely. And then we talk it out, we talk it
Mm-hmm.
out.
And it's good
And
because
yeah.
usually, if I didn't care about Luca, I would have been like, bitch, get the fuck out of my life. You're crazy.
Basically, yeah.
But no, I when we get into our things, because like, come on, like every friendship has its bumps, you know, so don't be surprised that we've had our bumps. Like, it's fine. It
Yeah.
helps make your friendship grow. But usually if someone like would react the way Luca does sometimes, where she gets like mad about something, I would also get angry. And what happens is that when two angry people are going at it, it goes nowhere, you know. But instead, I've been able to, and it's possibly because it's possibly because it's over the phone, and over like mostly over the phone, like talking over the phone, or maybe a few text messages here, that it happens where I can take that time and that breath, because I feel like I've worked on myself enough that I can do it like that. But when it's in person, it's a lot harder. And I haven't figured that part out yet, because I don't know, I don't know, it's different.
Yeah,
Um
it's a bit different, especially when you're in the heat of the moment and all that stuff. I
right.
usually like sometimes if my anger like really gets the best of me, I'm like I need like time to calm down because I don't want to say something that I don't mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's usually what I do. But
And I mean, it's good for you to at least know that you need that, right? And as someone that understands, I say, okay, yeah, we'll talk about it later. Like, some people don't do that. Some people push, 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 and push, and it doesn't help, you know. Sometimes you have to give people space.
yeah, space to get their shit together and calm down. But yeah, for the most part I'm very, you know what, not even for the most part, I'm very self-aware of myself and my issues, and I consider a lot of like I consider pretty much everything I'm doing as I'm doing it, and I know why I do certain things that I do, and I know why I say certain things that I say. Like everything is considered and everything is calculated before I do it and before I say it. Unless I'm just like, you know, just having fun with my friends, joking around and stuff. But like if it's a serious moment or anything like that, I'm thinking about what I'm saying and I'm considering what I'm saying before I'm saying it. You know what I mean?
Right, and that's important. That's good.
Yeah, I like being self-aware and I like knowing why I feel the way I feel. And for the most part, if someone like points something out to me, they're like, "Hey, maybe, you know, perhaps you overreacted to this." I think about what they said and I'm like, "Okay, well, let me think about this." And I consider all the options and if I actually overreacted. Like yesterday, I got annoyed at someone and honestly, I probably could have just left it alone, but I decided that since what the person was saying was so bothersome that I would call them out for it. And then we went back and forth for a little bit. And then until finally he was like, okay, you know what? Never mind. Never mind. I'll just go play my game. And I know I could have just left it alone. Like I escalated a situation that didn't need to be escalated. Like I'm not gonna say exactly that I was in the wrong, but I like started something that could have just been avoided entirely just because of my annoyance with the general situation because how I feel about it in a broader sense. You know what I mean? And I was just like, I was aware of that. Like, I was aware of that. And I've gotten into like points where I've gone off on people because I was upset about something else. And then I had to like stop what I was doing, go to them privately and be like, hey, I'm actually upset about this. I'm
Right.
taking it out on you. I'm sorry. Uh, I'll talk to you later. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. So I guess it's hard to explain for everyone's situation, but it's important to know when you're how far is too far. Uh, and what I mean by that is, if you felt, or if you feel, right, that you have an issue but you're ignoring it, it's important to realize how far you're willing to let it go before you deal with that, right? Because you can really hurt people, your family, your friends, people that care about you, or even strangers. And for me personally, I'm not okay with having particular things on my conscience. Like, I don't ever want to be the person that consciously hurts someone, um, because I don't want someone to do that shit to me. I'm very much the type that I try to keep particular things in mind. I mean, for the most part, like if you're fucking doing some stupid ass shit, I don't give a fuck. But there's some things like I'm not gonna maliciously hurt or maliciously do things to my friends just to sort of like get back at them for something that I thought that they did, or like do some, if I do passive aggressive things, for the most part, I don't realize it until like maybe afterwards, where I'm like, oh, that may have been a little, wrong there, fucked up. But it's not ever anything that's like, a really, really fucked up thing that'll really hurt them, and I feel like there are people out there that are like that, and they are conscious and aware of the fact that they do those things. Yeah, you need to stay away from those people. I need to stay away from those people, because those people are toxic, and they don't give a fuck that they are hurting you, and that's not okay.
Exactly.
But you don't want to be that person, you don't want to be that person that everyone stays away from. Yeah, so with that also comes into like yourself. How far is too far? Like, how far are you going to let things go before it becomes too much? Because if it becomes too much, then you are at risk for mental breakdown. And it's a real thing, guys. Like, people have panic attacks, people have nervous breakdowns, and that shit is not fun. When you're broken, and to come back from that is a lot harder than if you try and catch it beforehand and figure your shit out with help, of course. Yeah. So what kind of issues and help are the ones that require one to be self-aware? Like, I feel like something like how I described, something like anxiety is something that you kind of have to focus on yourself a little bit and realize that you're doing it before you can actually get help, because it's not something that's totally, like I told you before, people were categorizing me as ambitious, and while I am ambitious, my anxiety also pushed a lot of that when I was younger, and I at first didn't realize it, but then when I started to realize, I was able to manage it until I couldn't anymore,
Yeah.
What other issues do you feel like people have to be self-aware for them to realize that it's an issue?
Well, I think people should stop and think about, like, and I know it's hard, like when you're in the middle of a fight or an argument or something like that, to consider why you guys are arguing or why someone's upset or anything like that. A lot of the times, if you're fighting with someone, you're not thinking about how the other person's actually feeling. You are thinking about yourself and how you feel victimized in a certain way, like, oh, this person did this to me because of this. I've been reading this book called Emotional Intelligence. I don't remember who it's by, and I was talking about like a married couple who had like this underlying disdain for each other because they would consider everything the other person was doing as something to personally spite them, instead of actually considering how their partner was feeling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times people are so wrapped up in their own head and considering themselves that they don't stop and say, hey, maybe this person has a point here. Maybe they're saying it for a reason, or maybe there's something else going on there. So let me stop and just consider how I'm fit. What the fuck? I'm sorry, Siri was listening in. Anyway, stop and consider.
Siri and his nosy ass.
Yeah, I know, right? What the hell? Like, stop and consider how they feel and why they're feeling the way they feel and why the other person is feeling the way they feel. See, the thing with me is that I'm very empathetic. So I'm always considering how other people feel before I do something. Sometimes, like, I don't know, maybe sometimes it comes off as like overbearing or annoying, or like, oh, you're doing a bit too much or whatever. Like, someone will tell me a joke and then I'm like, all right, well, if you want this from me or you want this from me, you can have it, just let me know. And they're like, oh, I'm just kidding. I'm like, okay, but I don't actually know if you're kidding or not, because I feel like there's always like an underlying hint of truth in every joke that someone makes.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah. So if someone's just like like, oh, well, are you just going to ditch me for this person or you're going to ignore me for this person? And I'm like, no, if you want my attention, just tell me. And then just like, well, no, I was just kidding. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just letting you know in case you ever feel that way, that if you want my attention, just let me know and I will come spend time with you. You know what I mean? So
That's
it's
sweet.
stuff like that. Girl, yeah, you know, you all right? You already know.
The reason why I ask this is because I feel like there are some things, right, that people, you get cut, right? And you see that there's a problem. So, you go to the doctor or you put a band-aid on, like, you help yourself then. But with mental issues, it's a lot more difficult to pinpoint exactly what's going on. A lot of people push it aside, ignore it. They can't pinpoint exactly what the issue is. So that's why I ask, like, what issues require self-awareness. And I mean, we can say that all of them do, but there are some things that require people around you to sort of tell you, hey, you might need help with this. Because if you're in your own funk and you're kind of your mind is sort of hindered, I feel as though, like, it's not easy, it's harder, and almost impossible to sort of turn into yourself and say, hey, I think something's wrong, when you are in a cloud. The best way I can describe it is sort of like when you're trying to be self-aware, you're trying to look in the mirror, right? It's hard to look in that mirror if the mirror is fogged up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes some things fog up our mirrors. For example, something like depression, I feel like can really fog up your mirror, and it's hard to say to yourself, I think you are depressed. And I think that it's something that it's more helpful if someone is there to sort of help you find help. Of course, this is before you have dealt with it before. Like, if you are just encountering depression, if you have dealt with it before, I think it might be a little bit different. What do you think, Luca?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with
Do you feel
what you're
like
saying.
you are, I know that you deal with depression, and I know that do you feel like you're able to tell when you are entering that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
now
absolutely. Yeah,
you're.
no, I can tell when it's happening and I can make steps and strides towards stopping myself from completely spiraling
Mm-hmm. But
into
when
a
you,
depressive state.
in the beginning of or I mean, it's hard to say when it starts or if it's always there, but like when you first realized, or before you even realized that you had that problem, were you able to tell that something was wrong when you were depressed?
Well, the thing of it is, I've had like depression since I was in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember there would be times where I'd be like under the slides just crying for no reason at
Mm-hmm.
all. I was just so unhappy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was depression until middle school though. So I didn't have
So really
any,
young.
yeah, I didn't have any better way to cope with it. You know what I mean? I would just cry and then I started hurting myself and then, you know, other stuff happened and
Yeah.
yeah.
See, that's interesting because when you're that young, um, I mean, that's really young. Wow. You don't even have like the words to describe it. Like, you don't even have like you don't what. How do you know? Children don't know what depression is.
That's true.
That's wow. I didn't know that. Um, yeah. So I mean, it's important, guys, for you to be self-aware, but it's also important for you to listen to the people that tell you things, right? I mean, obviously there's going to be some people who try and give you some bullshit. Like my family, who likes to tell me you're antisocial because I don't always feel like going to hang out with, family events. God
Yeah.
damn, because there's some fake ass people in my family. But apparently I'm antisocial because of that. See, like shit like that you don't have to listen to. But when people tell you, like I have people that tell me, or I've had people that told me, hey, I think you need to deal with your anger issue, you know? And if it's a very important person in your life and this person's being affected by it, then it's important to take them seriously and not just ignore it, and to sort of work on it however you can and do some research. I mean, we have the internet, guys. Do some research as to like how you can, what techniques you can use or what exercises you can do to sort of help yourself through it.
Yeah,
For me,
no, I
in
agree.
particular, having an outlet like this show, or like video games to sort of help me.
Yeah.
Yes,
Video games saved my life.
yeah, to sort of help me not be so angry, you know, like take out some aggression on the game. And you guys know I rage.
Just occasionally. Flash all the time.
Yeah, we call it blue rage. But yeah, that's a good topic. If you guys have anything else to add, definitely throw your thoughts in the comments below, and we want to hear from you. We want to know a little bit about you. Don't be shy. So let's move on to our next segment, which, let's see if you guys recognize. You guys know that's the music for Girl, Let Me Tell You, where we give you a little story about, you know, something that happened during our week or during the month that we felt like talking about now. Luca, what's your girl? Let me tell you.
How about you go first?
Okay, I'll go first. Girl, let me tell you. You know, okay, as you guys know, I take the bus a lot.
Oh God, another public transportation story.
It's always a public transportation story. This is like where I encounter the strangest things, and honestly, like, people are weird. Like, I don't understand what's going on here. So I'm on the bus on my way to, you know, I was gonna go hang out with my girls. That shit was fun. But I'm on the bus and I'm sitting there just like hanging out, you know, checking my Twitter, doing some stuff on my phone, just, I don't know, passing the time. And a couple starts arguing on the bus. And now these two, they came in together, so I knew that there were a couple because they were calling each other baby and all this shit. And so all of a sudden, it was a man and a woman. The woman yells at someone to hurry up and get off the bus for some reason. Now, I'm not sure if they were intoxicated or what, but she's just like, hurry up, get out, right? Okay, rude. And I think that the guy that she was yelling at looks at her and sort of, I guess, gives her, I didn't see it, but I'm assuming this because her boyfriend tells the man, don't look at my woman, that's my woman, right? That's basically what he said. He was just like, oh, what you looking at? Don't look at my girl. And that shit had me rolling because I was like, really? Like, your girlfriend starts problems and you're gonna just be like, hey man, don't you start nothing. But like, your girlfriend started. I don't know, that was weird. And so he leaves, the guy that she yells at, and they proceed to argue. And he tells his girlfriend or wife, it could have been a wife, I don't know, and he's just like, don't do that. Why did you do that? You know how I am. You know how I am with people. Like, why are you gonna do that? And she's like, because, man, I'm sick of it. I'm just sick of it. Like, get off the bus already. Just like, get off. I'm just so sick of it. Mind you, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Like, I swear these two must have been high or drunk or something. And then he's like, yeah, but you know how I am. Like, you can't be saying shit like that. And like, you're gonna, what are you doing? And then she's like, no, all these Tauruses, she called them Tauruses, guys. She was trying to say Taurus. Tauruses are getting on my nerves. I'm just so sick of it. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know how to get off the bus, like, what the fuck? I'm just so sick of it. She keeps repeating herself. And then he's just like, goes into this tangent and he's just like, no, but you can't control the system. You know, that's just how things are. That's just how it is. You can't control the system. You can't do that. And she's just like, no, I'm just sick and tired. And she's like, shut up. shut up, just go sit over there, shut up. And he's like, baby, what's wrong with you? I was like, what the fuck is going on? And she's like, shut up, or I'll go sit over there and you'll be by yourself here. And he's like, no, you're not gonna go sit over there. And she's like, all right then, so shut up. And then he's like, you think this is a game? He's like, you think this is a game? And I think he grabs her because she's like, get off of me. Get off of me. Yeah, it was so weird. And then he's like, you think this is a game? And he's like grabbing her. I don't know if he grabbed her neck or what. I did not look back. I was like, girl, I was just like, oh my God, please get me off this bus. Please get me off this bus. Please get me off this. Because this shit was weird as fuck. And then she's like laughing and she's like, like, it was this creepy ass laugh that was kind of like, you're hurting me, but at the same time, I like it.
Oh my God.
You know? And I was like, yo, are they about to start like fucking on the bus or some shit? Like, what's happening? And the bus driver doesn't say anything to them. She just keeps on, you know, with her shit. And everyone's looking around like mad awkward and like has his face like, what's going on? Because they're super loud and they're sitting in the middle of the bus so you can hear it throughout the whole thing. I was just like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Disturbing.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I think they're very toxic.
Dysfunctional couples are always really interesting. I like seeing dysfunctional couples in media as long as like the show or book or whatever that they're included in acknowledges the fact that the couple is unhealthy. Like when it's a couple where it's clearly unhealthy, but you know, the TV show writers are playing it up like it's like a romantic story. That always has me like side-eyeing like, man, I don't know about that. But like when there's this TV show called Person of Interest, and one of the characters, Root, she she's like a self-proclaimed psychopath, right? And then she fell for this other character. Her name is Shaw, and Shaw is a sociopath. So it was like the psychopath and the sociopath like developed a relationship, and I thought that was so interesting, even though it was clearly dysfunctional. You know what I mean? So I like stuff like that where it's like it's clear that it's unhealthy and it's not romanticized,
right,
as anything other than that.
My bad. Yeah, I this was definitely a dysfunctional couple. I don't know if there was violence. I mean, it seemed as though there was. You can make a lot of assumptions based on this like little thing that happened on the bus. All I know is that like, please, people, like, don't air your dirty laundry. I mean, that shit had me rolling. I'm not gonna lie. I was like dying on the bus, and I was like, I need to write this down for speak, because like no one's gonna believe me if I, you know, just tell them like I need to talk about this on the show because people are weird. I was definitely feeling uncomfortable though when he was just like, you think this is a game? And he was like grabbing her. She's like, get off me. Oh my God.
Ew, that's weird, dude.
It was so weird. But yeah, I got off the bus soon after that, so I didn't hear the rest of the drama. Girl, I had shit to do. But what's your girl? Let me tell you.
Girl, let me tell you. So I'm just gonna go back to. Listen, I can admit that I am a fraud in every sense of the word. I kept saying that I was not gonna get this fucking game, Destiny 2. And that I ended up getting it. But the thing of it is, it's like, for some odd reason, people think that it's cute to tell me their opinions on me buying this game. Like, me and the dude cleared it up, but some guy came to me and he was like, oh, you got it because you were feeling peer pressure? You got it because of peer pressure or game envy? Boy. And I was like, first of all, sir, I'm 24, not 14. I don't fall subject to peer pressure. I'm an adult, you know? I'm not going to let some randos on the internet pressure me into doing anything I don't want to do. Right. Second of all, I can afford this game. Like, it's not an issue. I don't have problems buying games that I want to buy. My issue comes in if it's a game I don't want to play, I'm not going to play it. Third of all, I'm not going to spend $60 on something I'm not sure I'll enjoy. I'm not an idiot, you know? / I don't have like dispendable income or whatever like that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, you know what, sir, I Redboxed it. I went to Redbox and I picked it up and I played it and it was great and I enjoyed it. And that's all I really have to say about it. Like, I really find it bothersome when people try to tell me or act like they know best for me when it comes to how I spend my money that I earned at my 9 to 5 job, 5 days a week. You know, I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing? And another instance happened where uh, this guy was telling me that he was going to wait until the Xbox One X came out before he bought new games. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But someone else came and they're like, well, you can just buy the games and just wait for them to, like, you know, to be updated and, like, you know, play them later when you get the X. And I was just like, or maybe he can just wait for the X to come out and then buy the games. You know, like, why? Like, obviously, this guy has considered every option and he's come to the decision that, hey, buying these games right now is not the best course of action for me, you know? And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, well, you know, I was giving him my opinion, you know, like I wasn't talking to you. But I mean, I
Oh
guess,
my
I mean, you
God.
were tagged in the post, so I guess I should. I was like, yeah, I was tagged in the post. It's my post. He was talking to me about what he plans on doing. It's not like he put out a tweet saying, hey, give me your unsolicited opinion on this goddamn what I should do about buying these games. Like, no one asked you, sir. Like, and I feel like people at this point in my life should know that I don't like it when someone offers their opinion when I didn't ask for it. And I certainly don't like it where I'm included in the tweet and they're talking to someone else, but they're still giving their fucking unwarranted opinion. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't ask. Don't tell someone what they should or shouldn't do if they don't ask for it, especially if they're talking to me specifically.
Yeah.
Now, the dude who made the post about the waiting until he got an X to buy games, he didn't respond to that thread, but he sent me a separate tweet. He was like, man, I was just making a general comment. I don't know why that guy had to respond, but you're awesome, Luca. And I was like, yes, thank you.
Lord.
But I really like, I genuinely, that's like one of my triggers. That might be one of the things where I overreact on because I really just hate it when people give their opinion on something that no one fucking asked for.
Yeah.
Like, no one asked you. Do not offer your opinion. No, I'm sorry, but in some instances, your opinion does not matter. People don't
Mm-hmm.
care, okay? And that's okay. That's okay. People don't always have to care about what you feel and how what you have to say about things. That's all right, you know. And I feel like we live in a society where everyone just thinks that their opinions matter for some reason. So they offer it without any regard to how the other person's feeling. Like a lot of the times I'm just like, I really don't care, you know? And then
Yeah.
another guy sent me like a DM and he's all like, oh, the Death Note anime is not good. Like it's bad. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, okay.
If you
I
say
mean,
so.
like, I don't care. I genuinely don't care. Like none of this stuff actually matters to me. If
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've said this so many times, but if you don't like something that I like, or if I like something you don't like, you don't have to tell me that you don't like it or you like it. Okay, like you don't have to tell me that because I do not give a fuck unless I specifically ask for your opinion. Do not give me your opinion. I feel should I make this a shirt? Do I need to put it in the description of Speak? Should we put it there?
Oh
Do I
my
need to put it
God.
in the description of my goddamn Twitter? Don't fucking tell me. Don't at me dumb shit, okay? Thank
Yeah,
you.
for sure.
That is all. I'm quitting the podcast right now.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't understand people. I don't understand why they do the things they do sometimes. Just like
Yeah, I don't.
it's kind of obvious that you aren't you weren't invited, you know? But anyway, yeah. Um I think people get your shit together, people. We keep saying it over and over again. I mean, it's just going to be it's just going to be our motto. This is our show motto.
Yeah, but I have to stop and ask myself, like, am I just a bitch? I mean, I really just don't like people in general. So when, you know, when that stuff happens, I like react very negatively because I
Mhm.
don't like people at all. except like, my friends and stuff. So I don't know about that.
I'm like
Maybe
the
some
wrong person
people,
to ask because
yeah,
I've been called that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But let's move on to our next segment. Topic number 2. Jealousy. Oof. Let's talk about jealousy, right? Because jealousy can happen for a number of reasons, and jealousy can happen in many different instances. We know jealousy can happen within relationships, romantic relationships, but what about friendships? Right?
Yeah.
Have you experienced that?
Oh yeah. Oh, a lot of times.
Tell me about it.
Well,
Do you get jealous
yeah, I do get jealous, but
with your friends?
yes, I do. But I feel like I've worked on that quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen very often, and when it does happen, I talk to my friend about it. Unless it's like something where I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is kind of weird. I can work through it myself. But if it's like something strong and visceral, I'll go and talk to my friend about it. Like, especially if it's something unexpected where I never get jealous of this certain person. But I remember this one time, my friend, she started hanging around with someone I did not like. And like, I would see her talk about it every now and then and like mention it. And it got to a point where she's like, oh yeah, so and so was talking to me. She's really nice to me and all this stuff. And we talked about this and this and this. And I just felt like this surge of jealousy. And I was so upset and panicked. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I literally said, what the fuck? And I turned to her and I was like, hey, I'm feeling like really jealous right now. And I don't know why, because I normally don't feel like that when it comes to you. You know what I mean? And she like, she got a real kick out of it. She's like, "Oh, this is great. Like, this is awesome."
This is
Like she
great.
loved it. But I was like, I was like, do I need to tell this girl to fucking stay away from you? Like, I don't like her. And like all that stuff. Like but after
Lord.
yeah, after I had that little outburst, I got over my little jealous tiff. But like I feel like that sometimes. Like sometimes you just you can't help yourself, especially I think with girls. Girls get like really possessive of one another sometimes, even if they don't have any like romantic or sexual feelings towards them. They
Mm-hmm.
just get that way sometimes because it's like, especially I've noticed that with me, a lot of my girlfriends get like jealous when I'm giving other girls attention and all that stuff, right? And I think it's just because they're used to the attention that I give them. So when they see me giving it to other girls, they're like, can you like not, please, Luca? Like no, please. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But I gotta be honest, I mean I love it. Like I think it's cute when my close girlfriends get like all jealous and possessive. As long as they don't do too much or whatever, and it's like not awkward or weird, or like if it's someone who I'm close friends with and I like them a lot, and like they're like, oh, I kind of feel uncomfortable with this, or like, oh, I really don't like that girl because of this and this and this. I'm like, oh, that's cute. They're jealous. But I have to say, and I don't know if this makes me a hypocrite or not, but if I'm spending time with someone and then their friend gets jealous of me spending time with like the other person, that annoys me. Like I get irritated immediately. I'm like, "Oh my god, are you fucking serious right now?" Like that shit's annoying. I don't like it at all. Like
Calling the kettle black.
I know it's bad, dude. It's bad, but I don't like it. I'm like, leave. I'm like, first of all, you don't own this person. They are a
Mm-hmm.
person and
Mm-hmm.
they can make their own decisions. They are hanging out with me because they want to hang out with me, not because I'm manipulating them or tricking them or any way. And if you want to spend time with them, that's fine. Just tell them you want to spend time with them. But if they want to hang out with other people, let them hang out with other people. I'm not
Right.
here to try to steal anyone. And that implies that someone could be stolen.
Mm-hmm.
People make their own decisions. That's kind of like how when girls are like, oh, you stole my boyfriend or all that stuff. I'm like, no, you're taking away power from the dude who made the decision, the conscious decision to break up with you or cheat on you to be with this other person. No one steals anyone else, okay? People are able to make their own decisions. And so that's why I just get annoyed when it's like,
People are not
yeah,
property.
yeah, exactly. People are not property. And so I get annoyed when someone's like, oh, I don't like you spending time with Luca. Like when someone, like when I hear that, we're like, yeah, so and so got jealous of you, Luca, because of I'm like, I don't, what? Come on.
Ew.
What? Ew. Like, I don't like being involved in that. It's gross to me personally. Like, get over
I
whatever
guess there's a
jealousy
difference, right?
issues you
Because we
have
don't
and
do that.
just,
You're not like,
I
oh,
don't know.
I don't want you hanging out with this person, blah blah blah. Like unless it's
No,
like
I
bad
don't
for
do
them.
that.
You just tell them like, hey, I'm feeling a little jealous, which is I think the right way to go about it. I mean, we can't control how we feel sometimes.
Yeah, I always like, sometimes I feel jealous and I'll go and I'll deal with it myself. And then other times I'll feel jealous and I'll go and talk to them. I'm like, hey, I gotta be honest with you. I'm feeling kind of jealous right now. I'm not okay with how I'm feeling. I wanted you to know uh how I was feeling. Maybe we can work this out or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't try to claim ownership of anyone. And when people make certain jokes like that, when they're like, oh, I'm sorry I stole her from you, or stuff like that, right? I'm like, well, you didn't steal anyone because she's her own person. Let's
Mm-hmm.
get that clear. Or anything like that. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want to deal with it. It's bothersome. Especially when it's like someone's like girlfriend or boyfriend getting upset at me. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want your man. Like, I don't want your boyfriend, okay? I'm not
Yeah.
interested. Like, we're just friends. I have plenty of dudes who are just my dudes. They're my friends. And I don't want anything to do with them, like sexually or romantically. And also, I don't like cheaters. So I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
support that kind of thing. I'm like, bro, tell your girl she doesn't have anything to worry about. Sit her down and have like a conversation, because I'm not trying to have this crazy ass bitch attack me. Okay, I'm not trying to do any of that stuff.
Word.
So yeah, yeah, it makes me hypocrite. I like it when my girlfriends get like kind of jealous, but I don't like dealing it on the other side. Like if someone gets jealous of me, I'm like, take that shit somewhere else, ma'am or sir, or anything in between. Thank you very much. Okay, bye. But like that's how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just annoying, and it makes me want to take myself out of the situation. I'm like, well, I'm not trying to, because one of my ex like would not choose between me and my ex best friend, because my ex best friend slept with my ex. And
Oh Lord.
like, yeah, and then like, we were both vying for my ex's attention, and that shit wasn't, just looking back at it, I'm just so annoyed. So I'm like, I'm never going to be put in that situation again, where it feels like someone has to make a decision and choose
Mm-hmm.
who they want to spend time with, even if you're just my friend. If you really feel like you have to make a choice, then choose the other person, because I'm not about to be fucking will they, won't they, going back and forth. Oh, please choose me. That is pathetic, and I'm not going to do it. There's so many people in this fucking world. And yeah, I just feel strongly about that stuff. Like, it's so annoying. And even when it's like my close friends, and like my close friend is like jealous of me spending time with their other close friend, and then they like say it to me, I'm like, ugh, no, please don't be. That's disgusting. Like, that you're important to this person. They love you. So just like, don't get upset at me if I want to be nice to them, or they show me attention. Okay? Please.
Yeah.
Please don't.
I think that I do disagree with the whole like that it's mostly women, because I do think I've seen men go through it too. I think that the whole jealousy thing comes from like fear and insecurity mostly.
Yeah.
I feel that people, especially with friends, they're afraid that they're gonna lose them, and like that whole like maybe they'll like them more than they like me. It's totally possible, where you might feel, I mean, I don't know, sometimes we have this insecurity where we're just like, why does this person like me, like why are these people around,
Yeah.
and then like that kind of just seeps into other aspects where it's just like, oh, like what if this person, like what if my friend likes that person more and then just like stops talking to me, and while it
Yeah.
might not be like conscious, it could just be in like an unconscious like voice in the back of your head just like telling you like something like that, and then then it just happens where you're just jealous, and then you're just like, hey, don't spend time with them. Yeah, I wouldn't do that to my friends. I guess I've felt a tinge of jealousy, but not enough where it's like that I'll say something or that I'll act differently because of it. But I have
Yeah.
noticed it and I'm just like, oh, that's weird. But then I quickly just get over it, I guess. Uh, I don't know. It's weird, but I've definitely felt jealousy in relationships.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
maybe because I feel more vulnerable when it comes to relationships. I've tried to sort of nip it and not let it affect me. But that shit's hard because jealousy is an ugly feeling.
It is. It's pretty bad.
And I mean, I would never, I mean, I don't know. It's weird. Like I've done the whole like, why do you talk to this person thing when it comes to someone that I'm with? And then like, let's say for example, if I'm talking to their ex and I'm like, but why? You know, and less so because it was their ex and more so because of the type of person they were. Like I don't understand why someone would want to talk to someone who basically did them dirty and, you know, treated them like shit. You know what I mean? And so I would just be like, why are you even interested in talking to her? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And I guess that made it into more than what it should be, because if the answer was like different, I don't know if I would have gotten upset. I guess I got more bothered at the fact that it just seemed like there was no real answer. It was just more like, because I feel like it, you know? And I felt like they were doing it just because, or at least I thought that they were doing it just because they wanted to do it because I was bothered about it and not because they actually wanted to talk to this person. And that might have been me making a thing out of nothing, but I don't know. I was just like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, that's stupid. I don't know. It's I don't know. Jealousy is annoying. It's annoying for me. It's an annoying thing to feel. And
it annoys me too. I'm just like, whenever I feel it, I'm like, ew, what is this?
Yeah,
what?
And I feel like I hate when people assume that it's jealousy when it could very well not be too. Like that's something that I feel is ridiculous. Like I could have a completely logical reason for you maybe not being friends with this person, and you're gonna just basically be like, oh, you're jealous and that's it. Like what? That doesn't help the situation, you know? Like if I'm jealous, I would tell you I'm jealous, but I guess some people don't. I don't know. Some people don't realize that, and they might like, people lie about those things, those feelings. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But what about, I mean, have you ever experienced like your significant other being jealous of colleagues, or like if you go out with your friends and things like that?
No.
I've definitely had an issue where if I went out with my friends, that it wasn't so much of an issue beforehand, but when I came back, that person would act strange, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because you don't want to like accuse someone of being jealous, because I don't like when people accuse me of it. But at the same time, I guess you can sort of tell sometimes, or especially when you ask like what's wrong and they're just like nothing, and you know something's wrong, and then like the things that they mentioned sound sort of, you know, like jealous. Like they'll ask like specifics, like what did you do, who were you with, you know, things like that, and it's just like, okay, I don't know, it's weird. Jealousy is not fun, and jealousy breaks up relationships. Like if you don't know how to deal with that shit, or if you don't know how to, or if it doesn't, if you don't know how to let it not bother you as much, like you're gonna have problems, because so many arguments can happen over jealousy.
Hashtag get your shit together. That's true. And it's
true.
it usually stems from someone's insecurities.
For sure.
Like,
it's so hard to fix though, you know?
Yeah.
Being insecure, I feel like a lot of people are insecure.
That's true. I think everyone is to a certain extent.
I mean, maybe not arrogant, narcissistic people. But that's a whole
Are you trying to
issue.
say something about me? Listen, ma'am.
No. Oh, projecting much? What? No, but yeah, it's definitely, I'm sure most people feel some kind of insecurity when it comes to something. But I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to not feel that, and it's hard to deal with it when your significant other is feeling it. You know?
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
like I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of want to be like, yo, just let me live. Shut the fuck up. But that's not very healthy. So it's kind of like, what do you say? You know, like, you can reassure them, like, I love you. You know, like, I'm not gonna leave you. Same with your friend. Like, you can reassure them and tell them, I'm not gonna stop being friends with you. But it's like, it's hard when you yourself are telling yourself that you suck.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of
But
like you have to stop and consider why you're feeling that way. And like you
mm-hmm.
were saying before, it's usually stems from an insecurity that you have.
Yeah.
And it's not fair of you to put that on the other person, especially if they're not trying to make you jealous on purpose.
Right. It's something definitely like it's something you have to help yourself with, and you're gonna have to find like coping mechanisms,
Yeah.
If you find yourself feeling jealousy, maybe trace it back and see why, and then maybe work on that aspect of yourself. If you feel that your friend might leave because you are sometimes a bitch, maybe you should work on being a bitch, not being a bitch so much.
Yeah.
Luca. No, I'm just kidding.
Ma'am, I knew it. I fucking knew it. But I didn't want to say anything because you'd be like, oh, you projecting again? Listen, ma'am.
uh, yeah, that was definitely towards you. No, I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Am I kidding? Am I?
Maybe you should direct it towards yourself, miss, since you're always mean to me, ma'am.
Okay, if you say so.
I mean, I'm just saying,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll try
Okay,
to
I
be
accept
nicer
this.
to you.
Will you? I don't know, man.
I've
Like,
been really good though, I think, lately.
have you? Oh, I
I
don't
guess not.
know.
Fine. All right. So, I definitely want to get into that topic more, I think, with a man. It'll be awesome to hear their perspective on it, because we have ours, right?
Yeah.
Just someone else. It's always good to hear someone else's ideas. It'll be good to bring that back one day.
Yeah.
But if you have any stories, then let us know in the comments below. We want to hear stories of jealousy with significant others or even with friends, and maybe give us a little story. Maybe a girl, let me tell you. Let's move on to our next segment. This is Fuck That Shit. Because, we got to tell you guys some fucking annoying ass shit. My Fuck That Shit this week is, okay, don't laugh. I was on the bus.
I'm already laughing.
I was on the bus again. And, okay, so, like, I know people, look, you want to smell good for people, right? You want to look good, you want to smell good. Especially if you're going to go see someone, fine, whatever. So, like, if you take a shower, you smell good already. Why are you putting an entire bottle of cologne on in order to, like, get outside? And, like, what are you doing? Do you want the entire block to smell you? Is that the point? Because I was on the bus one of these days, and yeah, someone had so much fucking cologne on that's the only thing you could smell. The entire bus smelled like that, I swear. And I understand, like, it's nice that you don't smell bad, because it could have been that smell. But the fucking cologne, an entire bottle, I feel like this guy had on. That cologne was so strong, it gave me a headache.
Well, maybe he listened to Speak and heard you talking about smelly people on the bus, and
But,
he
like,
just,
oh my, I think my allergies make me sensitive to smells, and, like, when it's that strong, that much of it, it gave me a migraine. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I got off that bus and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna pass out. My head hurt so much.
Yeah.
It was bad. So please, people, like, fuck that shit. I know that you want to but just, like, put like 2 spritz on, dude. Like, that's enough, especially with one that's strong, and, like, it didn't even smell that great. But I appreciate him trying. I just wish you would have just left it at 2 and not pour the whole shit down your body. God damn. Anyhow, that's my fuck that shit. What's yours, Luca?
All right, well, I just want to say, you know, fuck this hurricane. Like honestly,
Yes.
um, when these natural disasters happen, I mean, I don't typically think about it. Like, I normally don't consider it because, as selfish as this is, and how self-centered as it is, if I don't have people who are directly affected by it, I'm not thinking about it. And I feel like that's the way for a lot of things, for a lot of
Yeah.
people. If you're not directly affected by it, you don't, it's not like you don't, it's not that you don't care. It's
It's
just
not
like
on
you're
your
just not,
radar.
yeah, you're not thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
And I have like so many friends. Like I have Crappy, and then She Wolf, and then there's GKB and their kids, and then even though me and him don't talk too much, like Delirium Blades, he's affected as well. And then
Mm.
there's Lady Foxfire. Like me and Fox are really good friends, and like I've been keeping in contact with her this entire week, and I've been like freaking out. I've been freaking out, and I have been very scared because it's like with Crappy and She-Wolf and GKB, they're not directly in the line, but Fox is. And so I've been really upset about that. And I've been angry as well. And then, like, there's been other stuff going on, like the wildfires going on. There was some of that going on this week in Washington, and one of my friend Scrotum was dealing with that, and they couldn't even breathe. And he's got a baby, right? Like he's got a really
Yeah.
young daughter, and it's like all this stuff has been going on with Mother Nature, and I'm just like, man, like,
Well, the
can we catch a
fire
break?
thing was because someone decided that it would be a smart idea to throw some fireworks in the woods. So,
Oh, huh,
technically not
okay.
Mother Nature, but yes, the fact
I would
that
say I'm surprised, but
yeah, it was like some kid. It was really stupid. But the fact that it was a wildfire does suggest that the leaves were dry enough for it to, turn to that big thing. So that part is, different. That is definitely Mother Nature and not raining enough.
yeah,
But what the
I
fuck is
just
that kid
like
doing in the fucking woods with firecrackers? Like, what are you. What?
honestly, I don't know. Like I
Anyhow,
don't
I'm
know.
sorry. Continue.
It's just like it sucks, it
Yeah.
sucks because I love these guys. Like these guys, like everyone in the Xbox community, the gaming community. You guys are my family, and knowing that you're dealing with this right now really bums me out. Like I've been, and I mean, like obviously you guys feel worse about it, right? But it still sucks, and and it sucks. It sucks,
Yeah.
and it it made me really think about it because on Friday I like ran into some people I went to high school with, and I mentioned it. It was like, oh yeah, the hurricane, and they're like, oh what? Oh yeah. And it's like they weren't thinking
Mm.
about it because they're not affected by it. Even though one of our other high school friends lives in Florida, so they weren't really thinking about him. But my high school friends are like kind of suspect, so there's
Mm-hmm.
that. But
I
it
mean,
just yeah,
my family lives, I have family that live in Puerto Rico,
yeah,
and we didn't hear from them for a little while, and that shit was stressful as hell. Like, not knowing, you know,
what
how,
happened?
yeah, like how affected they are exactly. And it turns out that they weren't that affected because it kind of, like, the end part hit them, so they were
Yeah,
fine. But, you never know with that shit. Like, it can, at any point, it can turn, at any point, it can, you know, I don't know, like even if it turns a little and they get the hard end of it, like that's a big deal, you know? If they get the
yeah,
tail end of it, it's better, but it's going to hit directly to Florida. And I have family in Florida too, and it's like I don't know, it's really hard to not know what's going to happen.
yeah. It's just stressful,
Yeah.
and I've been really upset about it like all week, like I said. And then every day I wake up and I look at the news, and like, I when I went to see it, like as soon as I got out of the theater, I looked at the news. I've just been worried the entire time. Like I I love my friends, I love them so much, and I don't want anything to happen to anyone. And
Yeah.
it's like what happened with Harvey.
Mhm.
My ex lives in Texas, and me and them didn't end on a good note, but I wouldn't want anything to happen to them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just, I don't know. It's rough. It sucks.
And
All of it
it's crazy
sucks.
that it just keeps happening back to back.
Yeah.
Like I'm really worried about like what's going on with the world.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I hope everyone is safe. I mean, I know we said it earlier, but hopefully they can update us. I mean, it's supposed to hit tonight, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're
Just
prepared, and we just
yeah, I
hope
just
for the
hope
best.
they stay safe.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our next segment, guys. This is But Why Though, where we tell you a little story about people and like or things and like ask the question, but why though? But why? Mine this week is kind of interesting. So, I'm in the park because, as you may know, I'm a nanny and I care for two little girls. And I bring them to the park sometimes so that they can play, burn some energy, that kind of thing. Um, yeah, there were these older kids there and they were playing around. The children that I care for are younger. One is 1 year old and the other one is 2. And so they're babies basically. And these kids were older. They were like 9, maybe 7, 8, 9. There was a few of them. And so they're doing a good job of avoiding the babies, which is great. No worries. But like they were playing tag or something. And as soon as they would get caught, they would just start fucking cursing the hell out of each other. Like they would be like, shit, fuck, god damn it. And I'm like, what is happening? These kids are literally under 10 years old and they're cursing their heads off. And I'm just like looking around for the parents and I don't know like what is happening because
Can someone come get their damn
yeah,
children?
I'm like, can someone just wrangle these kids away? Like, I know you hear them, first of all, because they're super loud. And, like, why is your 7-year-old child saying fuck? Like, what are you doing? This is a problem. And the parents are just sitting on the bench on their phone, right? And I'm just like, are you serious? Like, is this for real? And there were a bunch of them. And I don't know if they all belong to that one guy or if, like, maybe they were friends. I don't know what the fuck that was, but I was getting really annoyed because the 2-year-old is already at an age where she can repeat words. And the last thing I want is for her to be like, fuck to her mom and dad. And then just me get blamed for that shit. Just saying. So y'all need to get your shit together. Don't, like, your kids, listen, there's an age, right, where it's like, all right, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm not even going to bother. But, like, if your kid has the balls to, like, curse when you're in the same vicinity as them, you have a problem. Just saying. I never dared curse in front of my mom. I definitely cursed.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I definitely cursed when I was like in the playground, but I made sure that there were no adults around. Like I was like not playing that shit because people would tell my mom everything. So yeah, can you like why are kids are so they don't give a fuck these days. God,
They really don't. It's bad.
oh my god, we're gonna have to get it to come through and be like,
bruh.
we're gonna have this clown teach him a lesson. God. Anyhow, yeah. So, but why though? Like, parents, please get your kids shit together. Okay. Thanks. What's your about why though?
All right. Listen, guys. I get it. You want to play games with me. You want to hang out with me on Xbox. It's chill, right? Like it's chill. But some of you, and I'm not talking to anyone in the audience like watching right now, or actually I'm not really talking to anyone who listens because like, because if you listened, you'd know better. But some people like are just way too pushy when it comes to like trying to spend time with me and hang out with me and stuff. Like this morning, I got a couple messages because people saw me playing Destiny 2, and I know I keep bringing it up. That game's awesome, but people saw me playing, and some of them were like, "Hey, this is awesome! Like, I hope you're enjoying the game." Like normal messages, right? And then I got a message where someone was like, "Hey, it's so and so from Twitter," and I'm like, "Hi," and they're like, "Add me," and I'm like, "Okay, but like, who are you though?" But like, who are you? Like, I'm not even following this person on Twitter yet. You expect me to add you on fucking Xbox? I'm like, what? Like, can you come on? Can y'all like, bruh? I really don't understand like the mindset some people have. You know what I mean? Because the way I've made friends with people is like naturally. Like, oh, we just happen to be in a party together, or we happen to talk a couple times on Twitter, and it just escalated like naturally, and we became cool like that. And I started hanging out with them like that. But I get so many messages from people who are just so pushy and they come off as
Mm-hmm.
like kind of creepy that I'm just like, mm, I think I'll pass. I think I'll pass, which is why I've been like keeping to myself for the most part when I'm online and where I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want to play with this person because I've gotten so many creepy messages, Like, but like, why though? Like, why can't you just come off as normal? Talk to me on
Seriously.
Twitter and just be chill with me on Twitter. Let's go back and forth and have a like build up a good like conversation on Twitter. And then, I'll follow you back and then maybe, we can play a game together and it'll be chill. We just develop a friendship naturally. Like,
Yeah. Don't
don't just
expect
demand stuff from
yeah,
me.
don't expect an immediate ad for just like messaging someone on, on Xbox Live like that. That's not how that works. Like, do you know and do I know you? Do you know me that well? Like, what's happening? I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
mean, I think it's like a lot of the time Siberia, don't I have you on Xbox, sir? I'm pretty sure I do, sir. Anyway, but I think a lot of the time oh, and if I don't, send me a message and I'll add you because that's not an issue. But like a lot of the time, like I said, I get a lot of messages, and I'm not trying to act like I'm super cool or popular or anything like that, but I do get a lot of messages, and most of the time it's fine, but then sometimes there's like those one or two people that just ruin it
Mm-hmm.
for everyone else because they come off as such creeps, and I'm like, oh my God, bruh. And it's like it makes me like cautious about other people who are asking if they want to play. And most of the time, like these people are chill, like they're fun, they're good people, and they just want to play a game with me. But there's those few who come off as like sociopaths. Like I've
Yeah.
gotten a message where the person where I was like, there is something wrong with this person. Like I think something like predatory is going on with them, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
exaggerating. I've gotten a message like that. And they tried to blame me for being uncomfortable and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, I'm uncomfortable
Lord.
because of you, sir. You can't
Yeah.
pass that off on
That's
me.
weird.
Yeah, so it's just like if you want to chill and you want to be cool and you want to have fun and all that stuff, hang out with me on Twitter, message me on Twitter, let's be chill there, and then we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because you trying to force a friendship on me just makes me feel uncomfortable. And like I said, that sounds like dumb. Like, oh, people want to be friends with you, Luca. That yeah. I'm like, yeah, but like at the end of the day, we're all strangers to each other. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And
Exactly.
you still got to be cautious with that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Um, yeah, people, please just be a little bit more mindful of what you're doing. Um, Social media and like Xbox Live and all that stuff. It's all just you can be anyone. People like we have to be cautious. We have to protect ourselves. So don't get taken aback when we tell you things like, "Hey, perhaps we should have a conversation before I add you."
Yeah.
Anyway, I agree.
Yeah, I'm not like, and I'm not trying to be a bitch, which I come off as a bitch, but I'm like, bro, I don't know you. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know you. So,
Yeah, I agree. All right, guys, let's move on to our plugs. So, if you don't know, I'm Blue again, and you can find me live
who?
streaming. I'm Blue. You can find me live streaming on Twitch. I get on there a lot, but I do have a schedule. It's usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Of course, follow me on Twitter and join my Discord, and you'll definitely get notified when I'm live. All those links are going to be down below, so go for it. What about you, Luca?
Hey, you guys can find me at TheAshenLuca on Twitter. Just, tweet at me if you want to have a conversation about something. And you can find me on RDX Podcast. That's Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Dealer Gaming's channel. And I just want to say thanks for hanging out with us, guys. And if you listen later, thanks for listening back. We appreciate it. And, I hope everyone is staying safe from Irma.
Yep, same here. I hope you're safe. And anyone that is listening now, thank you so much. And anyone that listens later, definitely give us a few comments below. Hit that thumbs up button, and let us know what you think of the show. You guys can also send us or email us. It can be a text email. We'll just read it out loud, or you can send us a voice recording of yourself, letting us know what you think of the show, or giving us some topic ideas, or even intro questions that you thought of. Anything you want, just send it over, and we will play it on. We'll play it live for you, or if you want to just write the email out, we'll read it live for you. So I think it's a fun idea. Definitely take part in it. You can be the first. We have yet to have anyone email us. It'll be speakpodcasts@gmail.com. The info will be down below too. So we look forward to hearing from you guys. And again, thank you so much for being here. Bye.
All right. Deuces.